we will move on and pretty much the big game. Obviously, Japan's shock being aside, the shock win aside, we had Australia Wales, the pivotal game in Pool D and beyond. Really, we were talking about this is going to shape how the quarterfinals work, how eventual semi-finals work. There was a game with a massive consequence, and it took place in Tokyo.
Knocked Fiji out, by the way.
This game,
yes,
officially, mathematically,
I think so. Well, because Australia have beaten them. In all probability.
Well, in all probability, yes. But I'm not sure. Maybe not.
Yeah.
But it happened in Tokyo. We had Romain Poit reffing, as we had flagged initially before last week as maybe a bit source of controversy.
Yeah.
It proved to be. But the final score, we had Australia 25 points, but Wales getting it done with 29 points. And it was a great game. It was probably the game of the tournament. It's between it and the France-Argentina one for game of the tournament.
There were lovely little contributions all over the field from Wales. Dan Biggar's little cameo, as it turned out to be at the start of the game, was
10
flawless.
points.
Just awesome. That little quick turnaround drop kick. Dead right, perfect call,
Mm-hmm.
and then that beautiful crossfield kick to Hadley Parks, who himself had a very industrious, good showing. Was great, and Biggar is all class, and they will need him back.
I hope he's all right.
And as we had said pre-tournament, while others were being sceptical, if Patchell was required in a big game to step in and step up, he would, and he could, and he can run an offense really nicely. And he did.
He takes to the line. He challenges things. He puts people into space. I like Patchell. I've always liked Patchell. I like the Scarlets too. And he runs the ball very nicely. That being said, I did think Wales took a great lead. The Wallabies were a bit shell shocked really in that first half by all the organisation that Wales were bringing to it. They were being outthought.
It was that little 10-point period at the very start of the game before Biggar went off, and then there was another little drive-by 10-point period. And actually, the All Blacks have them in them, but Wales do too.
Yeah.
They did it to England in the Six Nations. Got back-to-back tries at crucial moments, and they did it again. They really do ride a momentum wave, and they identify moments to capitalise on, and they got that contentious penalty decision. We will talk about the ref, yada yada yada.
Yes.
And then straight away Gareth Davis makes the play.
Yeah.
You can talk about offsides and everything else, and you can roll back the tape to make it not miles an hour, but the fact is, especially in this modern context, you can run the risk of being offside, and chances are you're not going to get picked up on it. Again, you shouldn't throw the pass. You should see him.
That's
and
true
he throws
too.
the pass, and Davis makes a class play, and it just rattles the Australians. It just completely rattles them at a huge moment right before halftime. Wales, like a champion side, identifying the big moments to show up and make plays, and it was that 20 points that was the game.
It was, now Australia made a big fight of it, and Wales kind of disappeared for a while while the Aussies were just winning contacts. When Tamua came on, he had as impactful an influence as he ever had.
So much is made of that. Their entire game was off 9. I mean, call me a Tamua skeptic. If they put Tamua at 10, it's going to get them nothing.
No,
I didn't think Foley had a shocker, and
that's
throwing him in there was
Foley was not a running threat at all. Whereas all Tamua did was just take it off 9 and take it to the line. But my point is about Wales was that they were very soft all of a sudden in those contacts, and Tamua was running through two people and getting his hands free.
The Aussies were able to get quick ball. I mean, for a lot of the game, Tipperick in particular was really great for just spoiling. Tipperick is bordering McCaw for the crazy spoily plays that he gets away with.
Do you know what the Wales team the Wales pack in general, and it's something I've only been musing on recently. It's it's a physical attribute, but it's not one that's lauded that much. They give a lot of good arms. Their arms get into every place. Every corner of the breakdown, there's a Welsh arm somewhere in it. And it doesn't matter where they're in. They're not technically even in the breakdown, but their arm is. And there are a few players like that. That's something that
rangy arm people.
But the All Blacks have it in Brodie Retallick, and Sam Whitelock actually puts his arms about and makes things awkward. But Tipperick and Alan Wynne-Jones slow everything down with that play. And it's a bit of an intangible, but it's something that you see a lot of more athletic, dynamic locks don't tend to do as well as some of these guys. Like Tipperick is great for it. The Welsh in general and the Welsh whole pack have a great ethos for slowing the ball down. They have an interesting defensive system where they do fan out, but they also commit at nearly every breakdown.
And they rush up as well.
Make it slow.
Crazy. They make it work. But that said, they did slow down as the game went on. The conditions playing their toll on another northern team. But Australia had their best successes when they went wide when they got the ball into the hands of their two centres, who are their danger men who can break it up, and they are. I really love them because they're a nice old school centre partnership.
They are. There's a good balance to it.
You have your sort of small but very technical 13 who can open things up for your big ball carrying 12. And even in that, they're both modern players. Like, they are very physically gifted, especially Karevi is just like an absolute monster of a
Karevi got a few plays. He did school Jay Davis on his outside again, which was cool.
The little goose step. Poor old Jay Davis is going to struggle if teams keep targeting him there. There's a lot of responsibility on him in that Welsh defence.
There is. Well, that's part of what that committing at the breakdown does. Is it does isolate that channel even more when there's not that many in the line. It was a great game. Really played to a high standard. Lovely attacking rugby shown by both sides. I really enjoyed Australia's fight back into it. I thought the decision to kick 3 for 25 points, which turned out to be their last points of the game, was wrong-headed, because I thought they were winning every collision at the time, and I saw no reason to think, bar messing up their set piece, that had they gone to the corner they wouldn't have scored a try to take the lead. And simultaneously, like, off that
Wales went back to the other end and got another 3-pointer.
They didn't exit.
Chalked it off.
They didn't. Exactly. Like, they didn't exit from it. So, like, the 3 free points fallacy that keeps recurring, and I keep hearing it in commentary.
It was the very first thing the commentary team said when the penalty was given to make it 26-25 was, gotta take the 3 points. Just reaction. Gotta take 3 points.
Really?
And they did, and it was the wrong call, and it was as close as they got to being
nicking
able
the
to
game.
take the lead.
And there was a chance there for them to nick the game, but they didn't. They let them off the hook, released that pressure valve that they've been putting on the Welsh, and the Welsh got their second wind again, like you say, recognising the championship moments, which were the end of the game. They had some energy reserve, found something of a second wind to manage to get themselves over the line. But it was a great game of footy, and it really was. And it, like, spoiled or somewhat tarnished, certainly in terms of the Aussie perspective on it, by reaction to Roman Poit, who we're well used to. He does affect games. He's a really bad referee of rugby games. He's no clue what's going on. Seems to not be very communicative, gets things dead wrong. And this was an instance, the Karevi carry was an instance of him getting it so wrong, but also conflicting with all the new laws and all the guidelines that they're trying to implement. Like, this
about tackle technique.
It was Patchell went in upright into that tackle, and despite the fact that in slow-mo he kind of moves his arms forward, that's not him elbowing him, he's just bracing himself for contact. The onus is on the tackler to get your head down, get your hip down, and tackle.
I think I agree with that, and I agreed with everything that Michael Hooper said. It's a tough one because of how it's worded in the law, which is leading with the forearm dangerously. But I mean, and if you're a man as confused as Poit is, you can take that to read, well, he was leading with forearm. But no, he had the ball tucked in, he was going for your classic perp. There was no sense that it was his responsibility not to connect with the oncoming Patchell jaw,
which was in his way,
leading with the jaw sort of thing.
You
just fly head first into a contact and be like, he hit me on the head, give me a penalty. All of that is appreciated. It was a wrong call. Australia, like, they can talk about how much it affected them. It did not make Genia throw a bad intercept pass.
No,
you have to be mentally stronger than that. Michael Cheika, Phil Kearns, all the Australian media, Michael Hooper, like, the whinging about the ref is ridiculous, and there's a huge element and the huge faction in Australia more than anywhere else of people who just neither know nor care what the laws of the game are.
Well, seemingly that recurred with the incident in the week prior where Reece Hodge led with the shoulder, and then it came to light in his hearing, and whether this was a disingenuous defence or
no, I believe him.
But I actually believe him, saying he was unfamiliar with the new laws, which were so everywhere. Like, I couldn't miss them. They were all over my newsfeed.
We had to watch them because we felt a responsibility, if we were going to be talking about the game to you guys, to watch the video and say and be like, okay, now we know what the framework for high tackles is, and we can talk about. It was a good video. There was clarity there. It's still out there. But for us as Jagoffs doing a podcast to feel a responsibility to watch it, and the coach of one of the teams looking to win the tournament to probably not have watched it, seemingly. But also it's their whole media and their whole press and their whole culture over there seeming to value shoulders to the head like nothing else in the game. That is the game to them, and it's illegal. It's actually illegal to do that now, and you missed it. I'm paying attention, and like, I don't know if that's the game's gone to you. I don't know. You can go watch League, I guess. But it's like there's value in good tackle technique. There are people retiring from this game for concussions. This has been well documented. We've had this discussion. In fact, World Rugby has been having this discussion. You were invited to participate in it. They've come up with this framework around high tackles, which kind of does make sense, and a lot of teams are getting their heads around. Don't throw your body recklessly into contact. don't go high around the head. We're not talking about the mad above the waist stuff. It's not impossible to make a tackle anymore.
Yeah.
This is just a broader point because the Aussie media and everyone after the game decided to make it all about the ref, and they do that so often.
Which is a shame.
Which so I hate it
because it was such a beautiful game and there were other moments. And the other side of it is whatever about that and not understanding rules, and that's probably a bit poor form, certainly in the Hodge incident. But like, be more reflective than that. And I'm sure they probably are behind closed doors, but like, you'd sooner see a team come out and say, yeah, we got on the wrong side of the ref, but also there were controllables that we didn't live up to.
Yeah.
We shipped a load of points that we shouldn't have shipped. We made a load of mistakes. We threw an intercept pass in that instance. Like, we didn't kick a lot of kicks.
Exactly.
All of these things
it's just their non-congratulatory, non-conciliatory, graciousless way of defeating makes it hard to root for them, when on the pitch they're just the most beautiful team to watch. They're the most beautiful team to watch, and yet you can't root for them because after the game they never give anybody any credit. They always blame the ref when they lose. They don't even know the rules, so they don't know. How can you blame the ref when you don't know the rules? It's just the rules should be what we do is okay.
They're laws, mate.
Laws and rules. That's one thing that I am pedantic on.
No.
But by the way, not to pick too much on Australia, but that same criticism is and should be levelled at Joe Schmidt, who has not shut up in his press conferences about, referee this and referee that. From your absolute coaching, more than anyone else, you lost to Jamie Joseph,
Yes.
and then he's going on and on about referee this and referee that. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And they need to
I just wish, and I was credit to Steve Hansen for calling it out.
Steve Hansen called it out. Yeah. Shut up, stop bitching about the refs, everyone.
The ref's decision's final. It may be Pott's decision, it may be wrong, but it's final. So we've all got to build that bridge and get over it.
Yes, but not to have that be the final takeaway. I mean, that was something just to get off the chest because of what I've been reading. But this was a great game.
It was. That's the point. Yeah.
Deciding factor, I think, and you can hear me out on this. Deciding factor. Michael Hooper for Australia had a great game. Came back into it really strongly. Mm-hmm. He's got balls of steel, Michael Hooper. He just comes up with plays out of nowhere.
He's a great captain for them. Yeah.
David Pocock got nothing off.
No.
Watched like a hawk and got nothing off all day. Tried some things and got nothing. Welsh were watching him.
Yeah.
The Welsh are so wily. Take David Pocock away and the boys can't play.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a huge factor.
It was.
Just that was that little thing that Australia needed, was a few David Pocock plays to get them over the line.
We were seeing a few Tipperick ones instead, that was the picture, and that was the matchup. And it was like the centres was a ding-dong battle. I thought actually every centre on the pitch played their part and got a few plays off, and also had a few plays got off against them because there was just quality everywhere.
Yeah.
But in the breakdown battle, it was Wales' subtlety that ultimately served them slightly better than Wales.
Despite Hooper's best
best efforts, and despite it, like, even with that said, it was close. Like,
it's a great game. This game needs to happen every year.
Australia-Wales should be played every year. It's a great game.
One of the great games of the last decade of rugby.
The last time they met, it was 9-6 to Wales. Now we have this picture. Now we have this picture. We're like amazing, different. Like, I love it. I just love these two fighting it out because they both play a lovely attacking style, a very adventurous style of rugby, and the victor goes the spoils, and Wales take control of that pool D, and probably avoid England in that quarter, which is what we were fearing for them, and give that to Australia to deal with. This is a very positive result for the Welsh, and congratulations to our Welsh subs for getting it done.
Yes,
and to the Aussies, chin up.
To the Aussies, chin up, absolutely. And
still a bloody good team.
There are big games to come for them.
Yeah.
They're not out of it by any stretch.
Not at all.
Thank you so much for watching that video. If you want to catch the rest of our Overlap Rugby podcast World Cup content, please subscribe down below and comment as well. We love to hear the chat in the comments. And ring that bell so you get notified for all our new videos. Thanks.